Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrating to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side so once we have updates, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Now, there's just came in a breaking news. Now, what did I say? What did I predict? I think it's exactly the way how I had predicted. How did I actually land up with this predictions? Well, because over the years there has been a lot of numbers of inquiry going into the employment sponsor visa, where criticism has been put it in, even with the former government of Australia, the Liberal parties, where they wanted to strip off the red tapes in the post-pandemic era, assisting more small and medium-sized businesses to actually get streamlined, get the workers, get the visa done in time. Now, if you have followed my channel long enough, you may notice that have been complaining in regards to employment sponsor visa. The scheme provider require labor market testing, where the employer not just have to put a job advertisement, but they have to put 3 job advertisements, even with the regional employer, which is ridiculous. Why would they need to do that? Anyway, looks like the government has made the decision and put this in place. Just another thing that to remind that the actual policy has been out, but I believe it should be out by around Easter or perhaps July. But let's have a look of that news there. It just came out a couple 6 hours ago. This morning, the news came out from Sky News. I'm pretty sure right after this news there will be more detail to be announced and coming with the Minister of Home Affairs or Minister of Immigration will personally come out and put a media release in regards to this new policy. Let's have a look what the journalist has said about this.
And a major review into Australia's immigration program is expected to shake up the employment of skilled migrants. The Albanese Government may remove a current blanket rule which dictates employers must put out job advertisements before hiring skilled migrants. It comes as the nation struggles to recruit skilled migrants because of a lengthy visa processing delay. The Shadow Immigration Minister Dan Tehan says the coalition supports the hiring of skilled migrants but argues a more holistic approach needs to be taken.
What we've always said is that we're happy to reduce red tape when it comes to bringing skilled migrants into this country. Now, that labour market testing requirement is a red tape which has been placed on employers.
So that's very good. As you can see that even the opposition saying that the labour market testing is a red tape. Well, whether or not that's a good or bad comment, you can make that judgment there. So let's have a read about this news article. It's pretty much what it says. A major review into Australian immigration program is expected to shake up the employment skilled migrants. The Albanese government may remove the current blanket rule, which dictate the employer must put out a job advertisement before hiring skilled migrant. Now, look, how would this actually affect the visa procedures? Interestingly, now with the previous or the current policy, it requires every employer to do a so-called labor market testing. Now, you may ask, why would the labor market testing ever be in place? Now, we need to go back to the history before the former government introduced the change over from the previous 457 visa into the current TSS 482 visa. Now, and the minister, I believe back then, was Peter Dutton, who is actually the opposition leader now. Now, what they argue is the employment, yes, we want to improve the employment for the Australian, for the locals. So we need to protect them against from the migrant workers. That was what they were talking about, a couple of years ago. So, time flies, isn't it? So the a lot of people say politicians are liars. Well, they probably are not. They were doing the well, I can't say the right thing, but I can't say it's a wrong thing to do anyway. But what had happened with the virus and pandemic had caused the skill shortage of Australia, and every employment sponsor visa nowadays takes about a year to actually be approved. Now today I just got another approval for a regional employment sponsor visa that took 9 months. Can you imagine? No one's gonna employ somebody knowing that that person can only come here to actually work 9 months later, and no employee will agree to work for a job knowing that they gotta wait for 9 or 12 months, right? So all that mechanism was put in place when they introduced 482 visa, which was a very badly designed visa. They actually made the whole employment sponsor scheme, I can't say it doesn't really work, but it just make it really unattractive. Now, no employer will actually do it, and I don't encourage people to do it. Now, so what do we do with this new policy coming in? If the labor market testing has been removed, meaning that employer of Australia will no longer require to do a labor market testing. That means there will be a competition, well, a free competition between the locals and the skilled migrants or the migrant workers there. So that actually makes the country and the economy much vibrant. Well, you can argue that the previous scheme is more protective. Yes, it does, but too much protections and without freedom of introducing competitions will also cause issues, isn't it? That's exactly what we are seeing today with today's employment sponsored visa, whether it's going to be 482, 186, or and the regional employment sponsored visa, which require additional RCB for assessment as well. That's another thing. Regional employer has suffered so much, and they need people to work there. Now you make the whole process much complex and complicated in a way that no one want to do anymore. And plus, it's more costly as well, because if it's time consume more, it's always varies as the cost and expenses rises as well. So employer will calculate that all into their application. So no wonder the whole employment scheme did not work for the past, I would say, 4-5+ years. Now, with this introduction coming in, the employment sponsor visa will certainly be a very vibrant visa to actually allow a lot of the business, small medium-sized business people to have more option to access to all these. I can say, for example, international graduates, workers overseas. You will see the economy blossom again, because I actually visualize and actually I see what happened before the 482 introduced is actually much more vibrant. More business is opening up, and more small business utilizing the migrant workers. Well, and the domestic business is also catching up as well. Anyway, what do you think? I think this is good news. Perfect, as I had predicted. The whole visa system of Australia is opening door for all the migrant. Now today, this news is brilliant. Is what I had predicted and what I had advised the government a long time, that this LMT just doesn't really work. Anyway, should you have more question, query, more than welcome to leave comment right down below, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.